Can everyone hear me? Say yes. Okay. Awesome. So I have a slide that's going to go up here any second, but just to briefly introduce me, my name is Michelle Dale. I'm an online business consultant, and I have a virtual assistant services company. I am a traveler. I left the UK about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I've been traveling ever since, and I now teach people how to create online service-based businesses where they can travel or be at home with their kids or pretty much do whatever they want. But I'm not here to talk to you today about my business. I'm here to talk to you today about what makes an exceptional life versus an ordinary life. And I've had both. And currently, I'm happy to say that I'm living an exceptional life. And I want to take you through a journey, a personal journey of mine. And I hope that as I walk you through this journey, you will find things that you can relate to in it. And it is actually a journey that was from a guy called Joseph Campbell. I don't know whether you've heard of him. But he came up with this concept that everyone goes through a hero's journey, or in this case, a heroine's journey. And there are different stages of the journey, and I would like to walk you through those stages. So if I could have my slide up, please, guys, that would be super helpful. I hope your slide goes up when it's time. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on. So first of all, in every hero's journey, there is a beginning, and the beginning usually starts when we are children. And when we are children, we onboard beliefs without questioning them. We have no reason to question them. They come from our parents, from our teachers, from adults, from authority figures. That's not my slide, but it's very pretty. There we go. So in the beginning, our beliefs come from our authority figures in life, and we have no reason to question them because we're young and we're impressionable, and we just simply trust. We trust whatever anybody tells us. And at the point in life when you get to a certain stage, like I did, you get to a crossroads where you say, right, I have to start making decisions for myself. I don't need that. It's just one. Yes, there's only one. So you have to take a decision for yourself. And I remember I walked into my careers officer, who is supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do with my life. And he sat me down, and he had this office with no windows, grey walls, chairs falling apart. And I said, okay, so you're here to guide me on what I'm supposed to do next with my life. And he said, yes, I am. And I said, okay. He said, tell me about your grades. And I said, well, I'm an average student, B's, C's, and D's. I said, but there is one thing I'm really good at, the only A, the only thing I excel at, the only thing that comes naturally to me is drama. I said, it's the only I've got. And he said, okay. He said, well, I think you should put that out of your mind, because it's a very competitive industry, and you probably won't be able to find a job in it. I said, really? I said, but it's the only thing that I'm really good at. And he said, yes, but you should put it out of your mind. Here's a brochure. You can go into hotel and leisure. You can go into nursing. You could try maybe childcare. And I said, are you sure this is the path that I should be taking? And he said, yes, because what you're looking to do is very competitive, and you won't be able to do it. Okay, fine. So I quit school at 16, and I go out into the world, and I start in hotel and leisure, the first thing on the brochure. There was military, but I opted out for that. So, so I started in hotel and leisure, went through every department you can think of, and I hated it. So I went into hospitals, went through pretty much every department you can think of, didn't like it. And then I went into banking after doing various other jobs, and I thought, well, this is going to make me happy because this is the job that I'm going to earn money in. You know, money is the only thing that's really missing from this equation. I need to earn a good salary, so I'm going to go into banking. And I worked my way all the way through. I made some terrible decisions in life. Even though I got to the age of 23, I'd bought and sold about 5 properties. I was working my way up the ladder, still very miserable. And I kept getting these calls saying, Michelle, why are you doing this? You don't like it. You don't enjoy it. Why are you with this guy? He's not right for you. Why are you treading in this direction? Why are you living here? And all these nudges just sort of came until one day I got not a nudge, but a real smack in the face. And I was with a guy in a relationship, and I married him, and after 5 months, it was completely the wrong relationship to be in. So I entered the relationship, and one day I came back to find that all the stuff in my house, including the husband who I'd broken up with, had gone. And I sat there on my empty living room floor, and I thought to myself, I can continue to make the decisions that I have been making based on what everyone is telling me that I should be doing, or I can do something else. And I wanted a different life, so I decided to do something else. And the next day, I walked into my job, and I quit my job. I then went into the travel agent, and I booked a one-way ticket to Egypt. And after that, I went to the estate agent, and I put my house on the market. 3 months later, the day before my 24th birthday, I landed in Egypt with 2 suitcases and a laptop, and that was it. And I quickly realized, as soon as I arrived, after getting over all my doubts and fears of whether I should be going, whether I was going to get shot immediately if I came off the plane, whether I was actually going to be able to pay my way there, I found out and discovered that the one decision I'd made that was against everybody else's advice was the happiest I had ever been in my entire life. So I started to question what was going on. Because on Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, you get helpers, you get mentors along the way, you get people who show you your path. But unbeknown to me, the mentor that I had was myself. Because the decisions that I started to make from that point forward were all my own decisions. I was in Egypt. There was nobody there to tell me what I was doing was wrong. There was nobody there to question what I was doing. There was nobody there to suggest other things to me. There was only myself in my head and a load of people who spoke Arabic, and they were all very pleasant, and I used to smile and nod. But the conversations that went on were all in my own mind. So I started to question, well, if this careers officer was that great, why was he in this horrible little office, in this horrible little town, telling people to take on horrible little jobs like he was? So I thought to myself, well, actually, maybe everything that I've been taught was wrong, and maybe I should be making decisions for myself. So I started questioning life, and I started questioning then what I was going to do and how I was going to live my life. And challenges arose, and Joseph Campbell talks about this. I had various challenges. I battled with doctors for about a year after I stopped having a menstrual cycle, and I was told that I was infertile and I couldn't have children. And I went to 4 specialists, and they all told me the same thing. So I accepted it. I was single at the time, and I thought, okay, no problem. So I had health challenges. I had other challenges. I made an investment with all my money that I took to Egypt with me, which wasn't very much. It was 11,000. I lost all the money on that investment, buying a piece of land that didn't exist. And yes, I realized that was a silly thing to do. But there was a fake lawyer, there was a fake piece of paper, and there was a fake piece of land and a fake seller. So all these things came up, and then I met a guy, and I said to this guy, you know, it's very nice to meet you, but I'm moving on to Cairo. I found some work up there. I had to start building my business very quickly because of the money that was gone. And I said, you know, I can't really get into a relationship, but also at the same time, you should probably know that I'm probably not really good long-term material because I can't have children. And I told him this really early on in the relationship, and about 4 weeks after we'd been dating for a while, we decided to stay together the night. And lo and behold, that night I became pregnant. And it was the most shocking moments of my life because I didn't think I could have children, and I'd only known the guy 4 weeks. So I was thinking to myself at that time, you know, I can go back. Because, you know, I called a friend. I was like, this has happened. And she was like, oh, you've got to come back to England now. You've got to get a job. You know, you've got to go back. You've got to come back to reality. And I was like, no, I don't. So I didn't know what was going to happen with this guy. I only known him 4 weeks, but I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to have this baby. I spoke to him about it. He said, okay, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. And I set a goal for myself. And I set a goal to start following my bliss, which is what Joseph Campbell tells you to do. So I decided, okay, I'm going to continue to travel. There's no reason for me to stop. I'm going to continue to progress with my business because now I have a little one to pay for, as well as myself. And I'm going to continue along this relationship that I've found myself in. And then basically I entered into the complete unknown. I had no idea what I was doing. I had the challenge of building a business while I was traveling. I had the challenge of being pregnant and thinking about what I was going to do when I was going to be a mother. And I had the challenge of being in this relationship with this man that I didn't know so well. So we decided that we were going to go to France and spend the pregnancy I had another child. And throughout this whole process, my beliefs completely shifted. Everything, and yours will too if you go on this journey, everything you think you know about the world and how it works changes. Everything you think you know about people and what they do and who they are and how they live their lives, it changes, particularly if you travel, because you get to see the differences in people's lives and the differences in their challenges, and you'll realize that no matter what challenges we face, we're all the same, and we're all going on this journey. Now, most people stick in the ordinary area because they can't get past their doubts and fears. They can't move on from that point. But once you start following your bliss and you start questioning, and you start finding new mentors, and you start discovering what's within yourself, then things really begin to change. And over the end, once you start shifting your beliefs, you realize that you triumph. And now I have a six-figure business, a very healthy six-figure business. I excel in what I do. I'm one of the leaders in virtual assistants and training other virtual assistants in the world. I've traveled through 7 countries and lived in 7 countries, 3 children in 3 different countries. And for me, I'm living the best life I could possibly live, and I feel like I've triumphed. And had I listened to all the people that I was listening to who instilled those beliefs in me when I was growing up, none of this would have happened. So, as we go past our triumph, we take away our treasures, and our treasures could be anything. They could be spiritual, they could be emotional, they could be financial, physical, anything. You will find your own treasure at the end of your journey. And then you come to an understanding. And when you come to that understanding, you are able to then share your story and your understanding with other people, and you come back to the full circle and you tell your story and you inspire others to do the same. That was my story. Thank you.